Welcome to Dungeon Academics. My name is Thomas and I will be your instructor. This is the fourth video today and we are talking about rangers. The topic is class actions. How to make an ability that's really flavorful and impactful and unique for each character. Now, rangers as they stand, I think, are one of the most neglected classes. They certainly have the potential to be one of the coolest classes, but the way the game works, the class fantasy has never really clicked for me. And seeing other people's opinions on the internet and in my gaming groups, I think rangers get left out far too much because they're cool and they should be a part. They should have a place in every party. So why don't people want to play them? The essence of being a ranger is a contradiction. Rangers are the ultimate loners. They are the expert survivalists out in the wilds by themselves, resourceful, independent, tough, capable. But you put them in a party and they're natural leaders. They have the skills and the abilities that other characters turn to for matters of survival. If we consider the core pillars of gameplay, combat, social interaction, exploration, and I want to throw in pursuit as a potential core pillar. Rangers are experts in combat. They are, along with druids, the best survival characters in the game. And I think along with rogues, they are the best pursuit characters in the game. So what could be a good set of abilities and class action that really highlight what it is to be a ranger? Well, first of all, I think there's an ability that's really flavorful and fun and useful without being overpowering that would be great for rangers. And that highlights their survivability and their self-reliance. I think that rangers should have an ability where they can pick any skill, become proficient in it if they're not proficient already, and have it trigger off wisdom. And this is them relying on their experience, their intuition, their knowledge of the world. You've got a group walking through some ruins trying to do a history check to find out who built these ruins, but no one is proficient in history. The ranger can go, actually, I've seen this kind of thing before. Because they're a ranger, of course they've seen it before. You stumble across an arcane text and no one's proficient in Arcana and no one can read it. The ranger's like, actually, I've seen something written like this before in an ancient scroll I discovered in a cave. Because of course the ranger has. This would allow the ranger to fill a gap in the party. If we want, we could put a restriction that you can only do this on skills that no one else is, if no one else in the party is proficient in it, or if no one else immediately at hand is proficient in it. The ranger can go, actually, you know what, I am proficient in it just for this skill check. And maybe they'd retain that proficiency until a short rest. And then after a short rest, they could pick a different one. So rangers always have this ability in their pocket that if you need someone who's going to be good at a skill and no one else can do it, they can step up and fill that gap. Because that is what rangers do. They survive. They improvise, they adapt, they overcome, they survive, and they thrive. So that would be a great reason to have a ranger in the party, because it would fill in that skill gap that you don't have. Sure, the bard's got jack of all trades and is quite good at everything, but the ranger is an expert when you really need an expert, because if it triggers off wisdom, which is one of their their higher abilities, of course they're going to be good at it. So that's one thing I'd add for rangers. But what about their class action? Something that they can do every turn that doesn't take up resources. Well, I think most people agree that Hunter's Mark is not doing the job right now. It takes a bonus action to cast, and that means you don't get to do extra attack for having two weapons, pair of crossbow hand crossbows, for example. And people don't like that. They don't like having to give up an attack to use an ability that doesn't do much. They also don't like that Hunter's Mark still takes a spell slot. Being half casters, rangers do not have many spells, so using up one of their few spell slots for Hunter's Mark and also giving up an attack. I've seen lots of builds where people have said, just don't bother using it. It's better to get that attack, because every time you want to transfer it, that's another bonus action gone. You lose an extra attack. So maybe we roll Hunter's Mark into their class action. We have it resourceless. This is something that they should be able to do every single turn. So my suggestion would be their class action is Mark of the Hunter. They pick a target that they can see within a certain distance, and they mark it. And the first attack that any player makes each turn against that target gets some kind of bonus. And as the ranger levels up, that bonus increases. And it's not always just damage. It could be extra damage. It could be that attack, you get to use an extra weapon mastery ability, helping you power up those combos. So now everyone wants a ranger in the party. That ranger is allowing you to do more damage, use more weapon mastery abilities, and power up your combo. The ranger is now in combat, potentially the leader of the party. They're going around picking the target, take that creature down, because if every attack you make against that creature, or the first attack you make each turn against that creature, is going to get this bonus applied to it. So now every party wants a ranger. A ranger is no longer not as good at fighting as a fighter and not as good as being a druid as a druid. The ranger is the ultimate survivor who can fill in that skill gap in your party, who is expert at exploration and pursuit, and in combat they step up and become the great leader. Would you like to play a ranger like that? Would you be happy to have a ranger like that in your party? I think I would. I think that would be brilliant. I think it would be fun to play in combat. These abilities and your natural leadership in the fight would make it so much more interesting. You're also trying to build up your combo counter, just like the fighter did. See video number 3 about that. But you've got your own stuff to do as well that's fun. And Hunter's Mark is now something that you're using every turn, because it doesn't use up a bonus action, it doesn't use up a spell slot, it doesn't require your concentration. Perhaps it still gives some extra bonuses to tracking. It might slow the target down, it might make it easier for you to follow. I think rangers have so much potential to be a fun class to play. And with a good class action and a good set of abilities, I think every group would want one. So I'd love to hear your feedback on this idea. Do you like my idea for a ranger? And enjoy your next game, whatever it may be.